two ideas that you can take away that will hopefully be useful to you. These are the two most exciting ideas I've heard in the last month, and they relate to how AI is affecting my industry, namely higher education. I do believe they're going to be relevant for transformations that are happening in lots of universities, and you may have heard ideas that are sort of adjacent or similar to these ideas, but I thought I would offer them in the hopes that you might see some projection on some part of the world that you're thinking about, whether that's geography or industry or whatever. Okay, so here are the two ideas. I'd like to start with a concrete example and then generalize it so that you can kind of see, okay, the generalization of it does look like it could be transformative and could very well be relevant to what we do, what you do is. So here's an example. I'm an economist. We often write down models in two different categories. One model category is what we call incomplete information models. The world is incomplete. I don't know what you know don't know what I know, you'd love to know more about what Berkeley is actually doing, whatever it is. So the world is incomplete. But then we will write down a complete information version of the model and look at what its properties are. So the world isn't a complete information world, but the notion is, well, that would be interesting. So let me stimulate your imagination by asking you this, well, you don't have to answer the question, but we have a faculty expertise directory on our Vice Chancellor for Research page. You probably don't know that. That's not important by itself. Think about the complete information version of that. What if every doctoral student at Berkeley, or doctoral postdoc rather, every doctoral student, and every faculty member, you could know in a complete information way exactly what they're working on, or at least the publicly available stuff, right? Stuff that they publish, stuff they're interested in. And that's completely navigable. Imagine how valuable that would be. Okay, so we created, it's called Bear GPT. Anyways, if you go to the Vice Chancellor for Research page, and there's a subject line, like what are you interested in? Longevity, put in whatever you're interested in. And it will try and find faculty members. Now, it has not historically been defined over postdocs. We have as many postdocs on this campus as we have tenure-line faculty, so it's a really rich part of what we do here. It's not even in this database. Graduate students as well, doctoral students, are not in the database. All right, so you go to that website, the traditional version of it, and you put in some keywords you're trying to find. Now, my keywords I'm an economist, I do international economics. I put the keywords that you would find me by in there probably 20 years ago. And unless you happen to find a keyword that describes my narrow research, you wouldn't find me or any editorial I've ever written, or really anything I've written over the last 5 or 10 years. Okay, so we put an LLM on top of that. It's called Bear GPT, the Bears, that's the mascot of UC Berkeley. And I'll give you a concrete example. So the word longevity, I mentioned that word before. That's a word that not that many of our faculty were using 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when they would have put their keywords in there. Lots of people talk about it now. Many of you work in that area. I did this thought experiment. I went to the faculty expertise directory. If you just searched on that, you would find it. And I put in longevity, because you can still use both versions of this model. And you put in longevity. When I tested this a few months ago, nothing came up. And then I pushed the Bear GPT button, and I put longevity in the subject line, and 7 or 8 faculty members came up with 4 or 5 or 6 sentences description of what they work on. That's not 10 or 20% better. That's like infinitely better. And we're just getting started. So here's the generalized principle, and I think you could apply this in anything that you are doing. If you said, what is the value to you of Berkeley? Berkeley is one of society's most valuable assets. Great research universities are among society's most valuable assets. There's just no two ways about it. And if you thought about the value of a Berkeley to you, you may be thinking, I want to know what the cutting edge research is. I want to invest in some of that cutting edge research because I want to change the world through Berkeley, or I just want investment opportunities. All right, so here's the equation, the general principle. The value to you or to society of Berkeley equals All that Berkeley offers, the accelerators, the courses, the students, the faculty, the expertise, times is important. Navigability. AI is completely changing the degree to which Berkeley is navigable. How you find what you want to find. Go back to that starting point. Imagine a full information world where you could know exactly what faculty are working on. You could know exactly which MBAs in our program already have an MD or a PhD. You could know okay, I'll stop there. Value equals the opportunities we offer across all those fronts times navigability. This is a profoundly different navigability technology. All right, so that's idea one. That simple equation